guys, it's Lily, and I wanted to do another review of a Moleskine diary. So I've got the day per page 2016 diary. Then I also had to get this one, the weekly notebook and diary. I've never had one of these before, and I was really curious to see what it looked like and to show it to you. So let's have a look at it. This one, like the daily one that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago, is in the mauve color. It's just like a really, really beautiful kind of dark raspberry, purple, somewhere between pink and purple sort of color. And I guess, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe the color. Not quite wine, but yeah, it's more on the purple side, I guess. And this one starts in July 2015 and it goes till December 2016. I'll just take this info leaflet off. So it's a really good time to get it. 18 months. And you've got the usual elastic strap. The outside is completely plain. On the back it says Moleskine. At the bottom, as usual. And when you open it, you just have this little card with some like Moleskine info. Sorry about the shadows again. I always end up filming these videos at night because I don't have time during the day, but hopefully you can still see. And as usual, you have the little thing on the front, in case of lost, please return to, and the Moleskine logo. And then it says Moleskine Weekly Notebook 2015 to 16. And you have the personal data page. I'm kind of going through some of this a bit quickly because some of it's the same as what you get in the daily diary, and I'll put the link to my review of that if you want to see more detail about all of this stuff at the front. So what's interesting here, and this is different from what you get in the daily diary, is that you have a 2015 calendar over 2 pages. And it's just at the top of it's in the top half of the page, and then in the bottom half of the page you have space for notes. So I haven't seen that in any of the other Moleskine diaries that I've had. So this has got January to June, which is obviously before the diary actually starts, and then you have space for notes. And then July to December 2015 and space for notes. And then it goes into this new feature that I've never seen in previous year's Moleskines, which is a monthly calendar. So I was really excited about this when I saw it in the daily diary, because this is something that I had been wishing for, and I actually said in one of my reviews of the 2015 Moleskine that I wished that it had one of these. So I was really happy when I saw that they'd introduced it, but then I discovered later that it was actually at the expense of the running vertical year calendar that they used to have. And I think that that's a shame. I think that they should have kept both of them, because this is good for some things and that's good for other things. It's nice to have you know, the vertical view where it had like 1 month per column, and it would go for the whole of the year and then for the whole of the next year, so you could do lots of forward planning. And I thought that that was awesome. So I was really disappointed that they'd taken that out, because as you'll see later, they've got lots of stuff that I think is really not very useful at all for most people. So I don't know why they couldn't have included this and that instead of some of the other stuff. But anyway, they must have decided that this would be a better thing to have than the vertical yearly diary. And it's on 1 page rather than 2. Usually when you see this kind of setup, it's a month on 2 pages, but this one is on 1 page. I don't mind that so much. I kind of, in the other review, I was saying, you know, they could have taken out some of the, you know, the extra pages like the flight charts and the measurements and stuff like that, and put these over 2 pages. But now I'm thinking, never mind that. Keep it on 1 page and just put in the vertical diary as well. So yeah, that's a shame. Hopefully next year they'll have both of them. And it's got the weeks labeled, so you've got week 27, week 28, week 29, etc. And so it starts in July 2015, and then it goes for the whole of the year. So December 2015, and then we get a 2016 vertical calendar. Sorry, not, it's like it goes January, February, March, April, May, June. This is for all of 2016. And then you've got one for 2017 as well. So you can actually check the dates of the next year, but you can't really do forward planning because there's nowhere to write. So it's not the same as the vertical calendar. I'm really bitter about that. And then you have the monthly pages for 2016. So they split it because this is an 18-month calendar. So you get the monthly pages for 2015, and then you get this kind of like little interruption where you've got the whole year calendar for the 2 years, and then you have the 2016 monthly pages, month on one page, going for the whole of the year, all the way from January to December. So this is December 2016. The boxes are quite small. You can't really fit a lot in here. This is the sort of thing where, because this is large, by the way, which is like slightly smaller than A5 in terms of width. In terms of height, it's pretty much A5. This is a comparison with my A5 Filofax. So it's quite a bit smaller. Obviously the inserts would be smaller. This is, the cover is bigger on the Filofax. So yeah, it's roughly equivalent to A5 size. But you really can't fit much in these boxes, especially because there's some space for notes at the bottom. But I think that's quite nice. You can put in essential things, or you could like color code or something and then put a key at the bottom. So it's okay. I like it. Then you get all of this random stuff that I think they should take out and replace with the vertical spread instead. So you get holidays and events. This is fine because you could put in things like, birthdays or like kind of special events that you want to be able to see at a glance. That's okay. And then this has got it's kind of over it's over 2 pages. So this is January to June, and then this has got July to December. So I guess some of the reason that they do this is because they don't actually put any holidays in the planners because they're international. I think I would just put the holidays in like the actual planner itself rather than putting them at the front, but I would maybe use them for, kind of, I don't know, other like dates, or just use them for note pages. That's actually what I always did in the past. And then we get to the really like bizarre Moleskine stuff, like this map with the international time zones. Then you have 2 pages of travel planning. It says travels planning, and one is travels memo. And you have like destination, itinerary, date, essential bibliography, and notes. And again, I would just use these as note paper. So yeah. And then flight durations. And again, I think that this is one of the most useless pages. Like I can't imagine that this would be useful to like at least 90% of the people who are using this, but it's there. And then you've got dialing codes, like internet codes, and I think it's number plate, license plate codes. Again, like, I don't know, it's a bit more useful than the flight durations, but not, to me, like not worth having sort of, taking up 2 pages of the diary when they could have a vertical spread instead. Arg! Anyway, and then you have measures and conversions and international sizes, which, like, again, I've heard people in other videos also say, like, who's going to use this? I'm sorry, Moleskine, I love you, but really, like, vertical spread instead of this. Then you have something cool that I think is unique to this planner, because this is like kind of set up as an academic planner, starting, kind of like start so that you can use it when the new academic year starts. So it has a timetable, and let's see if you can see the writing. Might be a bit too blurry. So that it says timetable at the top, and then in this column it has time, and then it has the days of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's no Sunday, which is kind of weird. I guess, I mean, normally I guess you wouldn't have, if they're thinking that this is like kind of mainly for, school and university, you probably wouldn't have any lectures on Sunday or Saturday for that matter. And then here it has time. So I guess you could use this column for Sunday if you needed to. I mean, you could use it for something besides class times if you had, a kind of like regularly repeating schedule. But I think it's quite useful for that. It's sort of like nice to see, because I teach, so it would be useful to have the timetable for the year. And you get another page of this, exactly the same thing. And then you have a blank page with a ruler here, which I've never used, but I kind of think is a nice touch. Just like a kind of like built-in ruler printed on this blank page. And then it says 2015 to 16 Moleskine Weekly Notebook. And it has a little legend of the things that they do label. The only things that they label are the new moon. Let's see if you can see that. The first quarter moon, the full moon, and the last quarter moon. So, like, yeah. Again, I don't kind of pay attention to the phases of the moon, but they have it there. And then it starts with the end of June 2015, week 27. And something I like about Moleskine is that it labels the week. So you've got week 27 here at the top. And this is a really different setup from the other Moleskines that I've used, which are the day per page and the vertical week on 2 pages. So this one has got the week's calendar on the left-hand side. So you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday just have one box. So it's a horizontal layout, which I've never used before because I've always used like kind of like to put everything in my day, and so it seems like you don't really have a huge amount of room. But I think that the way that this could work is that you'd use this for like kind of time sensitive things. So appointments, classes, work, that kind of stuff. And then on the right, you have a ruled page for notes. So I think that this is a really interesting layout because it completely makes sense. I've never sort of done it like this, but it totally makes sense to divide it so that you have all of your appointments here and then you have a to-do list here. So it's kind of like a bullet journal, or you can use it for notes or whatever you want. To me, like it makes sense to put tasks here. And I think it's actually quite nice because you have a lot of room here. You have this whole page and it's just ruled paper. So you could divide it any way you wanted. Like if you wanted to, you could, divide it in half and like have this side for tasks and this side for notes or something. And you still have quite a bit of room to write. So I think that this is quite an interesting way of doing it, and I could see how this could work. And if you sort of like you wanted to, I sort of imagined like decorating this side and using like sort of like putting appointments on stickers and sticky notes and like kind of decorating all of this, and then this side just you could also actually decorate as well. You could decorate the whole thing. This is sort of my vision of having the whole thing like covered in stickers and sticky notes. But yeah, if you wanted to decorate one side and leave the other side like just for notes, you could do that too. Again, is in all of the Moleskine planners, I think it sort of bugs me how you only get half the space for Saturday and Sunday. But this is a sort of well-known planner issue, and you just kind of have to make the best of it if you've got one of these planners, I guess, because a lot of them do this. So yeah, it goes on like this. So every week you've got the weekly layout on one page, and then you have the right side ruled for notes. And the paper quality, I'd say in this seems pretty good to me. It's like kind of a nice understated print. It's not too strong and black. It's kind of almost gray, I guess. And it's the usual sort of like creamy colored pages. It looks a bit thin to me. I don't know what the GSM weight of this is. I don't think it says. Yeah, I can't see it anywhere. But you can see through on the ruled side, on this side. If I like kind of hold the page down, I can see the printing on the other side. I'm not sure if it will show up on the camera. Maybe you can just see that. You see like there, you can see that says like Thursday or something from the other side. So that's kind of like, I've never had that with another Moleskine. In a way, on this side, it's actually kind of a bonus. I don't know if that's intentional or not, because this is not lined, but you can see through the lines from the other side. So that could be helpful because I like to have line pages for writing on. Obviously, if I'm using stickers and sticky notes and not actually writing on the pages, then it's not an issue. But it's kind of helpful to have the shadow of the lines here. But I think that is something that might bug people. And then it keeps going like this. So it is this like kind of interesting mix. It's like half planner, half notebook, which I think is quite nice. I don't think there's anything dividing the year. So yeah, it goes from week 52, December. This is the 27th, and then it just says December, January, and they do it so that when they're 2 months on a page, the like kind of main month, like the month that's finishing, is in the normal print, and then the sort of new month that's starting is in a fainter print. So this has just got December, January, and it just goes from the 31st to the 1st. And then the next, like the kind of first full week of January, it starts over again at week 1. And it just goes through like that. March, April, May, June, August, September, October. There was July, I just didn't read it out, but they didn't skip out July. December, and it goes all the way until the end of December 2016. This doesn't actually list the year in the planner itself anywhere, I don't think, which is funny because you're dealing, you know, it's a planner that has more than 1 year, so it doesn't actually say like when it sort of crosses over from 2015 to 2016. It doesn't say anything. So presumably they're thinking you'll know what year it is. But I'm just mentioning it. It doesn't actually say anywhere that like this is actually the first day of January 2017 here. That's the day that it finishes on, which is a Sunday. And then it's got a couple of pages of just lined note paper at the end. I think like maybe 5 pages. And then it finishes and you just have the like kind of thicker cardstock back page. And then you have, as usual in Moleskines, you have an address book, which I never use, but you can use them for something other than an address book. If you don't need a paper address book, you could use them just as like kind of an alphabetical list of random stuff or something. I have done that before, and then it always kind of gets a bit messy because I used like Moleskines for a couple of years as a planner, so I was sort of like transferring them over from one year to the next, but it sort of got messy and I ended up just taking them out and putting them in recycling. And then it's got this nice pocket. And let's see if they've got any stickers. No, some of them have stickers in the back, but this one doesn't. It's just a pocket, and then it's kind of made with the same color paper as the cover. And then you have your elastic on the back, and it closes like that, and that's it. So yeah, I think this is a really nice option, particularly if you don't have a lot of time-sensitive information and you have more to-do lists, then it would be really useful because you've got tons of space for that. So James is going to use this as like an exercise tracker, and it'd be quite good for that because you can just write the you know, kind of like information, like he does, like, you know, jogging and cycling and stuff like that. So you can just sort of record it on here and then like sort of put extra details or targets or something on this side. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.